What up, guys? Kevin here. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is one of the most boring games I have ever played. The game launched at 9 p.m. my time, West Coast time. By 9:30, I was passed out. Controller in hand, TV on. The game, my God. It's 2023. What are we doing here? This is our king. This is our king. Spider-Man 2, the most paint-by-numbers game I have ever played. So, where to begin? Now, again, I went into this game with very low expectations. Just first off, I'm way more into JRPGs. I know that. But I enjoyed 2018 enough. And the more and more I play games like this, it just didn't innovate at all. This did not innovate at all. As I'm playing this, basically the opening sequence, I'm like, this game did this better, this game did that better. And swinging through New York is boring as fuck. So let's get into it. Now, I didn't want to not take anything away. Gaming is very selfish hobby. So this is just my experience. Just because it's my experience, I'm not trying to deter you from you liking Spider-Man. First off, I don't really care too much for the IP to begin with. Just very play it safe, especially when it comes to Insomniac. I knew what I was getting into, but I was like, you know what? I feel like I would enjoy swinging through New York and just, hey, this is a blockbuster game. Let's see what a blockbuster game this time of year has to offer. And it offered me a sleeping pill. And also to be upfront, earlier in the day, I watched the ending of the game on YouTube. Wasn't that impressed. It looked like a very just standard paint-by-number story. But if you like Venom and all that, I think if you like the IP, if you like Venom and all that, you'll enjoy at least the story. I don't know about the game. Let's get to the gameplay itself. Well, actually, let's start with the beginning, what I played. Very nice recap. I will give it that. I did play 2018. I did not play Miles Morales. Basically the same thing that happened in Miles Morales. Where I played like 45 minutes and then I got so bored that I just turned it off and uninstalled. Same thing happened here, but this time I only made about 30 minutes in. I just turned it off and uninstalled the game. But there's a nice recap of what's going on. Miles Morales is asking Peter Parker for advice to write his like college paper, entrance paper, whatever. And they both give their stories, what happened. And then it starts with Miles Morales in class. And first off, I got to say, the haircut is stupid. Very stupid. I hate that haircut so much. It's just, I hate a haircut that says, look at me. Look at me. Look at my haircut. I hate it so much. On Miles Morales. And then Peter Parker, who comes in as the professor or the teacher, first day, he's super awkward and weird. I got a kick out of that. I was like, oh, this is funny. Okay, it's light teen humor. But then I got to say this. Again, the last Spider-Man game I played was the original 2018 game. With the original character model that had character, Peter Parker's face is dead, cross-eyed, and his face was boring. The most like boring face in video game history. What a downgrade from the original Peter Parker. I was like, what have they done to my boy? They massacred my boy. I'm like, dude, I can't look at this whole game. It's like, great, Miles Morales got a stupid haircut and Peter Parker's got a stupid face now. But whatever. They're Spider-Man. They're going to be wearing the Spider-Man suit, hopefully most of the game. And then speaking of character facial models, so here's my issue. Starfield got torn apart with all its flaws. It seemed like everybody decided, let's just concentrate on the flaws of that game and not talk about anything good. And now Spider-Man 2, people are giving the game the benefit of the doubt because there's good stuff there, which I think that's how gaming should be. But when Xbox exclusive gets torn apart, I'm going to tear this game apart because holy shit, I expect better from Insomniac. I expect the facial models to look better. They do look better in a sense, but then that uncanny valley kicks in and it looks goofy as fuck. Like Mary Jane's face, like everyone's face got a downgrade. I think Miles Morales looks better, but man, looking at the face, I'm like, what? It's just really hard to do. Look, it's just really hard to do facial animations. I get it. But they all looked very smooth and just weird. And this game, it looked like a PC setting, like low to medium settings. Like on a whole, it looks great. The lighting is spectacular. But everything looked very low texture until you get like really up close in front of it. Then the texture really came to life. But on the whole, I think because you're zipping through the city, it just looks very low to medium texture and just meh. It looks so meh. I'm like, what am I? Like, this is Insomniac. Everyone's bragging about how great the game looks. The game does not look good. Just New York City on a whole looks good, but man, I'm like, okay, all right, maybe I didn't get the day one patch or something, but I felt like 2018 looked better. And maybe it just was better for its time. And it's 2023, and we played a lot of games that looked really good the last few years. And the impressive stuff that this game does to have a city this big and all that you can do in it, I think something had to scale back. All right. But yeah, you're in class. Funny little moment, you know, Miles Morales, the sand dude, you know, he looks outside and it's like, oh, Sandman's here. So Miles Morales like excuses himself, then he comes back and he's like, Peter Parker, I need your help. Like, you know, needs help, I don't know, pulling out his wee-wee to go pee-pee. So the class starts laughing. And then they both look out the window and like, oh, it's time to go. And they're like getting in their Spider-Man suit and they're webbing up the stairs in a school like nobody. I don't know the story. I don't know if everyone knows that they are Spider-Man yet, but like in the middle of a school, they're spider webbing up the stairs instead of using the stairs. But hey, nobody's using it, so it's fine. That like, I was like, what? What? Like nobody is walking around? But whatever. That's just a minor gripe. And then you get out there and you start swinging through the city. And I'm like, all right, this is where I'll get my enjoyment of the game. I knew going in this wasn't going to be for me. But again, I want to try to play the 91. This was a 91 Metacritic score game. And right away, I was just like, oh, just swinging and just pressing R2, 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 R2. And it's just the same animations as well from the previous games. And I'm just like, been here, done that. This is not fun. This is not fun. And it's not that I did it in 2018. I did it, way back in 2001 when I played, Spider-Man 1 and 2 on the original Xbox. So I'm just like, I mean, it's Spider-Man. I can't be mad, but at the same time, it's not doing it for me. It's just not doing it for me. Swinging through the city, it's just not doing it for me, especially in the very, just, again, look like low to medium texture. I'm like, this game will shape up quite well on PC. And I wish they would do day and date on PC. This game really would deserve it. Lighting and the ray tracing looks spectacular. I'll give it that, but it definitely came with a cost. All right, and then you catch up to Sandman, and then I played a little game called Final Fantasy 16, where it had big, epic fights. Big, epic fights. And Spider-Man 2 was going to start with a big, epic fight with a big, epic Sandman. Now, I'm not saying Final Fantasy 16, they did it right there, but at least that kept my attention. At least I kept awake. Here, holy shit. This was the most boring gameplay I've ever played. You're just pressing R2 to stay in the air and doing QTEs. You're just doing QTEs to put water on Sandman and then get up close and do your attack where you mash square. Oh my God. I couldn't. I was just like, no, it's 2023. We are not doing this. We're not doing boring QTE boss fights. But that's what we were doing. And then you land in the building and you got to fight like little Sandmans around. I'm just like, in the combat, like I was literally just pressing square. There was a moment there I wanted to take a video where I'm just like pressing square and just beating all the enemies. And then it turns into a dumbed down version of Scarlet Nexus gameplay where you got to grab items that are all around you, swing it, and hit the enemies, which I was like, yeah, Scarlet Nexus did this way better. It was way more entertaining. Here, it was just super boring. Just super boring. I'm just like, I just wanted to get it over with. And I didn't. In the middle of that big epic boss fight, I passed out. I just remember thinking, I really hate my life right now. I really hate what gaming has come into, that this is a 91. And then I passed out, woke up, uninstalled that fucker, and just going to take the L, guys. I'm just going to take this was $75. $75. I was hoping for $75 for 15 hours, which I was hoping that was going to be my complaint. Like, 15 hours for $75. No, we're talking about $75 for 30 minutes, one of the worst 30 minutes of gaming in my life. But hey, it was a nice sleeping pill. It was a $75 sleeping pill. That's what Spider-Man 2 was for me. Now, it's 2:30. I got to go back to bed. I wish I kept the game installed because that would be a great way for me to go back to bed. Again, the game was just awful. Just awful. And I don't want to hear, well, you didn't even get to the main game. You just, the opening. I'm like, it threw all the mechanics at me. No. No way that is fun for me. It's just not. Might be for you. Again, gaming's selfish. If you play it and love it, I'm not trying to take your excitement away, but holy shit. 2023, we got to do better, guys. Starfield was boring as fuck, but at least I got about 15 hours in that game. After 15 hours, I'm like, yeah, I don't care anymore. This, big yikes. Big yikes. I'm just seeing a lot of downgrade and just very stale gameplay. The gameplay is just way too stale for me. And it makes me worry about a gaming crash where we just go, yeah, we've been here and done that. We need innovation. And that's why I think a game like Baldur's Gate 3, which I don't think should be as innovative as it is, but that game is just so different and it does it right. Here, this is stuff I did for decades. And PlayStation, if you're going to put one game out a year, for me personally, I need something way better than this shit. All right. I gotta go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Later.